had a funny feeling all week. I mean, I sat there thinking about the Vikings playing the Washington Commanders, sitting at 6-1, going against a team that was hungry, 4-4, and I got to be honest with you, I did not expect this outcome. Like, after everything was said and done, I just remember looking at my wife, who, by the way, might be a bigger fan than me because of how much she shouts during the games. But I just remember just sitting there and thinking to myself, like, what truthfully is going on? Because this team is just, they just shock you with another late time win here where they finally decide to start playing at the last little bit of the game. And it was interesting. And we've got, I almost forgot, we've got our, latest edition of Standouts and FIZZOUts, players that stood out. Like I said, like we always say, everybody's got their own edition of winners, losers, risers, and falls. Ours is Standouts and FIZZOUts because pop. We love it. We think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Whether it's Pepsi, Coke, Mountain Dew, that Diet Dr. Thunder, what is it? What's the, is it Equate? No, that's like the off-brand Walmart brand, or what is it? Great Value, whatever it is. Let us know what you guys drink in the comment section below. We want to know. Coke, Pepsi, whatever it is. But anyway, in our latest edition of Standouts and FIZZOUts, we've got a lot of them for both teams. So we'll start out with the Vikings here. I don't think you can really go anywhere else or start anywhere else but talking about Kirk Cousins. You really can't, because Kirk Cousins, he goes into his former team in that atmosphere and he plays kind of beautifully. Like, yes, he had that kind of fluke interception towards the end of the first half, but a couple of touchdowns on the day really led them on that solid drive. Actually, we'll start there, then we'll go to Kirk Cousins. You had that very good opening drive, 11 plays, 78 yards, took 4.5, 5 minutes off the clock, capped off by that Justin Jefferson 9-yard touchdown reception. Yes, just love it. Kirk Cousins, although finished 22 of 40 for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Really, just he had the cojones. He had the since it's Vikings win, he had the cojones to go in there and get it done. And honestly, it's just, this is the kind of leadership the Vikings have needed at the quarterback position. And he's honestly, Kirk Cousins has been that leader for a little while for the Vikings. So it's great that they're finally winning these close games. And and I know that they talked about it in the broadcast about how the Vikings just weren't winning these close games last year, and now they're pulling it out. And then you'd look at Dalvin Cook, definitely another standout for me. You talk about, 17 carries, 47 yards, not great. That offensive line also struggled. We'll get to them in the FIZZOUts section, but Dalvin Cook, that touchdown catch he had there late in the game to really give the Vikings the life that they needed. You love to see. You just love to see them continuing to claw back, continuing to keep themselves in the game, and you just love it. Justin Jefferson had a carry for 10 yards, but he also had 7 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown, just getting the job done in all different phases, whether it was that end around or just it did not matter. And then honestly, arguably, the man of the match, the man of the hour, TJ Hawkinson, coming over from the Detroit Lions earlier in the trade, like hours before the deadline. You love it. 9 catches, 70 yards. And it was that after that first 19-yard completion that I was like, okay, he's already showing that he is going to be a big part of this offense. I really didn't think he was going to get this many targets to start things out, but over the middle, he has already shown that he is going to be that guy for the Vikings. That's been the missing piece of this. Like, the Vikings have needed that guy that's going to be in the middle, that's going to be able to go up and get those snags, hey, I'm going to get hit, but I'm going to catch this ball. That guy that's in the middle of the field that just controls it, and the Vikings have missed it. Now they got their guy on the outside in Justin Jefferson. They got TJ Hawkinson. They got Dalvin Cook. You love how he was able to come out immediately and really start playing well. Like I said, 9 catches, 70 yards, and he's just getting started. Another standout for me, Adam Thielen, 3 catches, 67 yards. I had a little bit of a thought. Do I put him on the standouts or do I put him on the FIZZOUts? Because there's too many times, especially in this game, where we have seen, or in other games where we have seen Justin Jefferson that stood out. We have seen other wide receivers at times just kind of disappear, including Adam Thielen. In this game, he had a couple of really nice catches, so I'm going to put him in the standouts category. But this really needs to get better. It can't just be TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson getting after it. We need to see that third wide receiving option for the Minnesota Vikings, whether it is KJ Osborne, who was a FIZZOut for me today, but I got to see it. I got to see it, baby. I really do. But But then as far as that other standouts, you got to talk about Jordan Hicks and Eric Kendricks. Jordan Hicks leading the team with 12 tackles today. Eric Kendricks flying around had 9 tackles, excuse me. Another standout for me, I don't think you can really debate this one, Danielle Hunter. I mean, 2 sacks, really seeing some vintage Danielle Hunter, hand in the dirt, go around there, starting right tackle and go get the thing done. And yes, you got to be happy about it. You got to love it because he absolutely was that missing piece for the Vikings pass rush when Za'Darius Smith, who by the way actually was very good. He had a lot of pressures, like 5 total tackles or whatever it was, but he just wasn't getting there. But even though, because honestly, I think he was getting double teamed. He was on the inside as well, but he was being very disruptive for the Vikings defensive line. Also, this pass rush is coming together. DJ Wanham had a sack, and just every single snap, you could see them that they were coming after Taylor Heineke. But overall, Heineke had a kind of respectable game in my eyes. But you love to see Danielle Hunter, DJ Wanham getting after it. Eric Kendricks, like we mentioned. Caleb Evans, definitely another standout for me. You talk about a guy that playing in a situation where Cameron Dantzler hurt his ankle. Were they going to pick on the rookie? How was that going to go? Caleb Evans said, no, that's the universal sign for no, I guess. Anyway, but Caleb Evans really stood up, whether it was in the run game, going up and get that huge tackle for loss in the run game, or just on that 4th and 1 when he was targeted. He said, nope. You love the rookie standing up in that situation. Does also kind of make me wonder kind of what is the plan with guys like Andrew Booth Jr. moving forward, but you love to see this young guy in Caleb Evans. I think he's going to be a really good player for the Vikings down the line. Harrison Smith, that interception, that leadership, also the bowling pin celebration, I loved it. It was like, I actually chuckled. I rarely chuckle in Vikings games because, you know, my stomach is just so tight, but that made me chuckle. I also got to give a shout out as far as standouts to the late game management for the Vikings. The idea, now this was a fun thing to explain to my wife. You know, she was saying, why don't they go score? Why don't they try hard? Why are they just falling down? I really like the thinking here, because it doesn't matter what this team wins by, if it's 3, if it's 53. The fact that they were able to force Washington to use their last time out, the fact that they were able to get 3 runs, take over a minute off the clock, and really just force the Commanders to do that. It was just fantastic. Also, Shondon Sullivan getting that, keeping Antonio Gibson in bounds. That was fantastic. Great job by Shondon Sullivan. As far as other standouts, though, the offensive execution after the first drive. Now, I know they went out and won the game and did a couple of extra big-time drives, but it's just, we've seen too much of this. The Vikings offense starting out hot and then just disappearing for most of the game until they have to show up. Can we please get that solid, like every bit of offensive prowess that we want? Can we just get this team able to, you know, stand out? I would love it. I absolutely would love it. But overall, I get it, the fact that, you know, not every game you're going to put up 50, but I'm still waiting for this offense to play like we know it can in all 4 quarters. So I really need this offense to stop giving Vikings fans heart attacks, because it just, it is what it is. The O-line. So the outsides, Christian Darrisaw, actually, if you watched him, was actually pretty solid. But even Brian O'Neill to the certain extent there. But, I mean, just the interior, Ed Ingram just got completely bullied. Like, this is a very good Washington Commander defensive line. I know Deron Payne and company were also going to get after it. But as a whole, as an interior whole, Kirk Cousins just got beat up today. It was rough. It was absolutely rough. So, yes, I know you're going to continue to win from this. You're going to take away what you need to take away from it. But I need this interior offensive line to step up, please. And then also the last fizz out for me, KJ Osborne. It's just, you know, again, and it's really not even on KJ Osborne. It's the fact I need this third wide receiver, this third person to just stand up and do something, because KJ Osborne is too talented. This offense is too talented. I need that third wide receiver to really start to stand out, because, yes, you have Justin Jefferson. You have TJ Hawkinson now, who really showed a lot today. I need that third wide receiver, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, whoever, to be that consistent guy that catches 5 to 8 passes a game. Like, we need that 1B to Justin Jefferson, who is that 1A for the Minnesota Vikings offense. Then as for the Washington Commanders here, you know, as I get things kind of rolling here, also, Greg Joseph, he's definitely a standout. You got to love that. Ryan Wright, hey, he had a strong day too. 6 total punts, 51.7, that would be kind of crazy. 57 yards net average. But so For the Commanders, I love Taylor Heineke. I really felt like this guy really put his team in a position to win a lot of different times. I did put him as a fizz out, though, when you talk about the huge overthrow of Logan Thomas there late in the game. You know, I know that it was an accident. Like those throws, it looked like it just got away from him a little bit, but it wasn't great. Also, but we'll go back to standouts. Excuse me. I'm not going to start out with the bad. I'll start out with the good for the Commanders as well. But Benjamin St-Juste, I know Justin Jefferson had 7 catches, 115 yards and a touchdown, but Benjamin St-Juste was there every single play. He was he was all over Justin Jefferson, and the former Gopher, you gotta love him. I think he played very well today. I don't care what anybody says. Also, Antonio Gibson had that huge kickoff return to start out the second half, really give them a little bit of life. You would have liked him to get out of bounds late in the game, but it is what it is. Finished the day with 47 total yards. Also, another standout, Curtis Samuel, that 3 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown. I don't know what happened on that touchdown. There was in the start of the second half there, that first drive for the Commanders. I don't know, but it was just kind of one of those things where, like, okay, fine, it is what it is at this point. So you love to see it. You love him going out there and getting a catch like that in triple coverage again. Like, great throw by Taylor Heineke, just taking a chance. You love to see it. So let's see here. Dax Milne also catching a touchdown there, really putting the Commanders up, giving him that that commanding, that hey, we are Commanders commanding, whatever. Really giving the vibe that they weren't going to go down without a fight. Dax Milne, nice job. The defensive line for the Commanders just got after the Vikings offensive line. Like Deron Payne and company. Yeah, you had who had a sack. Excuse me, Benjamin St-Juste, who had a sack. Even though they only registered 2 sacks, like Kirk Cousins, he's going to feel that tomorrow. He's absolutely going to feel that tomorrow. So, but as far as other standouts for the Commanders, you cannot give any. You got to be able to give a lot more credit to, again, guys like Armani Rogers, who had that huge run there. I think it was a 24-yard run that it really did give them a little bit of juice there that led to that touchdown drive. And that's the one thing the Vikings really have to get better at, is that defensive stopping teams when they get into the red zone and being able to come away with that. As far as fizz outs for me, John Ridgeway. Actually, we'll stay in with a couple more standouts. I apologize. Brian Robinson Jr., I just would really love to see him get going. He had 13 carries for 44 yards. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches, 56 yards. So I'd really like to see him get more with it, but it is what it is at this point. And now we will go to fizz outs. So, John Ridgeway. I understand that you were a rookie. You are coming over and trying to make a play for your team. I know you're trying to really block this field goal, but it's kind of universally known that you can't touch the centers, but it is what it is. You give the Vikings, that really, it really was the interception by Harrison Smith, that overthrow on Logan Thomas, but this was just a killer for the Commanders. You talk about just being in that situation. Okay, the kick a field goal, we're getting the ball back. We'll see what Taylor Heineke and company can do, but then just Oh, that's just killer. Also, the Commanders' offensive line, the Vikings were also able to get after it. Daniil Hunter finished with a couple of sacks. DJ Awanem, we talked on as well, had a sack as well. But it was just constant pressure on both teams getting to each other's quarterbacks. Cornelius Lucas led up those 2 sacks against a guy like Daniil Hunter. Now, I know Daniil Hunter is Daniil Hunter, but at the same time, you are a guy that's coming here and you're hoping is going to step up, and it just did not work out that way. That Heineke miss on Logan Thomas, yes, we covered it. Also, Cameron Curl got beat on that touchdown to Dalvin Cook. It's just tough. I love Cameron Curl, but that wasn't a good lucky, especially you need a play from a playmaker on your defense, and you don't get it. Also, that late play calling there, defensive play calling, excuse me. I think it was TJ Hawkinson for the Vikings that had like 8 yards of separation on 3rd and 4 or something like that. It kind of caught me off guard. I thought they would be pressing him a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you got to be honest about this kind of a thing. There were a lot of players out here for the Commanders, and they still put up a fight with a good Vikings team, so you got to be able to give them the credit that they're due. But it ain't ever easy. It ain't ever easy if you're a Vikings fan, that's for sure. But overall, you're excited about it. You're excited the Vikings go to 7-1. The Commanders 4-5. They're still alive in the NFC East, and you love to see it because I think this could be a good team down the line. I love Taylor Heineke, and I'm excited to see what the Commanders can do down the line. But that's it. That's our latest edition of Standouts and FIZZOUTs. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think. Almost forgot. Standouts and FIZZOUts. Which pop do you guys drink? Leave it in the comment section down below. And also let us know what you guys think about our latest edition of Standouts and FIZZOUts for the Washington Commanders versus Minnesota Vikings matchup.